Call this ninth meeting of 2024 council meeting to order. And can I have Councilor Bolt, you're going to move a motion to withdraw a motion that's on the agenda.
Yes, your worship, I'd like to withdraw a motion, is it the consent agenda one you're on?
No, it's 10.1.
10.1, yeah, so I'd like to propose that we, withdraw the motion 10.1 from the agenda as the, requirement for this position is no longer required.
And who, have a seconder? Second by Councilor McCrae. Any discussion on the motion? All in favor? Good. Okay, we're going to adopt the agenda as amended. Can I have a mover and a seconder? I see Jim Bolton, and we're going to need a seconder, Jim.
Moved by myself, seconded by Deputy, well, seconded by Councilor McCrae. Be resolved, Council Town Firth adopt the, amended agenda for the, October 22nd, 2024 council meeting as presented.
Discussion? All in favor? Carried unanimously. Land acknowledgement, we respectfully acknowledge that the land in which we gather is the traditional home of various indigenous peoples. As we work towards reconciliation, may we all live with respect on this land and live in peace and friendship with all its diverse peoples. If there's anyone now having a conflict of interest, just let me know or anytime through the meeting. Number 4, can I have Councilor Wonderful move the adoption of the minutes?
Be resolved that the council of the town of Firth adopt the minutes of the September 24th, 2024 regular council meeting.
Seconded by Councilor Smith. Discussion on the motion. All in favor of the motion? Carried unanimously. No delegations, no presentations. Consent agenda. Councilor Bolton.
Yes, I'd like to propose that we, withdraw from the consent agenda, item 8.1.3, the terms of reference to roof farm working group.
Okay, so can you please move the motion itself at the,
Sorry,
can you please move the wording for the motion itself first? Under number 8.
oh, I'm sorry, number 8. Moved by myself, second by Councilor Isabel and McCrae. With the following bylaws and motions listed below the consent agenda be passed and numbered accordingly, as printed, and then I move to remove 8.1.3 as stated.
Okay, we're gonna deal with 8.1.3 a little bit later. And is there any discussion on the current motion for the consent agenda? All in favor? Carried unanimously. Number 9, Number 9 is the item removing consent agenda, the Deer Farm. Can you please go ahead?
Yeah, so we met, as the chairman of the, steering committee, we met, yesterday. And as everybody knows, we were looking to increase the numbers in that committee, to 7 members. And we did reach out to the public, for, applicants for that position. And as such, we only had 1 person apply for 3 positions. And as such, we feel that we should leave the number for that committee at 5. We now have 5. And it's our recommendation that we leave the committee at 5 rather than trying to achieve 7 at this time. It does not mean that at some point in the future, we can't reach out again. But that was the discussion and the recommendation of the committee.
Okay, thank you, Councilor Bolt. So could you go ahead and move item 8.1.3 again in the motion, and just so council understands, we're going to defeat the motion because we don't need it to set up.
Yes, that is correct.
Okay,
We defeat the motion and leave the number as what it was before, as 5.
yeah, okay, and you have a seconder? Do you have a seconder first for your motion?
I need a second for that motion.
Councilor Smith, thank you. Discussion.
Through the deputy mayor to Councilor Bolt, 1 person applied, and I'm guessing the rationale is you did not want the numbers of the committee to be an even number in terms of any voting. Is that the rationale of not having that additional person interested joining the committee, assuming that their qualifications were appropriate?
That is absolutely correct. So if you got five, you're gonna have a quorum with three, and you're not gonna have an even number, so you shouldn't have a stalemate. Unless you don't, unless your quorum isn't big enough for your meetings.
Right.
But with five, it was felt that you could still have, a quorum, and, you should be able to move motions and get them passed for it.
And the CEO has an answer for you too, Councilor Whitefield.
Sorry, just to clarify through the chair that there was one vacancy under the old terms of reference still with five. So there was one member that the strike committee is still bringing forward to recommend to bring it up to that five. But then Councillor Bolt has recommended withdrawing the bylaw that's on the table to bring it up to seven because there was only one applicant. And if we put it at seven, they're really gonna struggle with quorum, so it's proposals to leave it at five for now and appoint later in the meeting that additional member.
Thank you.
Any other questions, either Councilor Waterfield, Councilor McRae?
Yes, I'm very happy with the motion that's been brought forward. To be perfectly honest, Chair, I'm really surprised that there aren't more people that came forward to sit on this committee, but it is what it is, and we need to move forward. And I think when I give my report this evening, I think that also will justify why five will be fine to that committee. So I'm prepared to vote for that.
Okay, any further discussion? All in favor?
Oh, sorry, you want to be here.
Oh, sorry, yes, sorry. Oh, that's right. All in favor?
To defeat it,
Yeah.
yes.
All opposed?
Voting to defeat.
We're kind of confused here on.
So the motion is to increase it to seven,
Yeah,
so nobody vote in favor, everyone vote against it.
That's right, going to. So
And
all in favor?
Right there.
All opposed?
Okay.
There we go.
Now we go straight.
All right.
Yeah.
So under the council and committee reports, as a member of Leonard County Council, I don't have a report this time. Under the Leonard County OVP Detachment Board, last Friday, I conducted some interviews to hire an executive assistant for the new Leonard County OVP Board, which is still not formally in effect. We're still waiting on the provincial government to recognize the fact that we're currently a 20-member board, and we've asked them to reduce the board down to 12 members. We have some more work over. Hopefully, we seem to have some information that hopefully before November, we're going to hear a positive response from the Solicitor General. So let's hope that happens and we can actually have a formal police service board. We do have a transition board for the OVP in Leonard County current time, and we do meet next Tuesday morning at 8:30 just to discuss current stats and things with the inspection. Climate change advisory panel, Councillor Smith, do you have any comments since Councillor Brown's not here?
No, on the, sorry, did you say on the CCAP?
Yeah,
No, there was no meeting this month. I believe there was not enough, too many people were away and not going to be able to attend, so the meeting was canceled.
okay, how about the Heritage Birth Advisory Panel?
I was saying to Michael earlier, before the meeting started, for the first time in 6 years on council, I forgot to write the meeting time on my calendar. Consequently, I was a no-show yesterday
Okay,
for the HVAC meeting.
that's fine, thank you. Drew working fine, Councilor McRae?
Yes, thank you very much, Chair. So, the meeting was on October the 7th. And Joanna Bowes and Kathy McNally gave a presentation on land use and history in regards to Duro Farm, the Duro Farm project. And my takeaway from this is we have to be very careful moving forward because it's so close to the landfill site. So there's barriers and there's restrictions and there's all kinds of precautions as we move forward because of its proximity to the landfill site. So servicing, to begin with, would be extremely costly. We're talking millions of dollars, of which we all know that we don't have. And we can't really drill into rock because, then we, find ourselves, in the area of contamination and that type of thing. And, as far as digging a well, there could be, leakage into that as well. So, drinking water could become contaminated. So basically what we're looking at, and I did have a brief discussion with our deputy mayor about this, is we need to be looking at general naturalization, activities like walking, cross-country skiing, trails, the dog park, maybe a picnic area with the sunshade, and environmental and educational programs. And even the possibility of having a soccer pitch or that kind of thing. Again, we have to be very careful because we're digging into rock. And when we dig into rock, there can be fissures, and the next thing you know, that goes into our plume. So, so we can look at things like maybe a multi-purpose field, but we can't look into a serious playing field where there would be requirements for drainage and that type of thing. So, then Kathy put together for us a schedule of our upcoming meetings, and our next meeting is December the 2nd at 5 p.m. And I feel quite confident now that we've got our group of people that we can move forward. Thank you.
Councillor Bird.
If I may, through the chair, just to reassure council generally, after points that have been made, it is very clear to the members, I think you'll support me in this, Councillor McRae, very clear to the members of the committee that they will be proposing, well, suggesting proposals to the council, that nothing is guaranteed in what they propose, and that nearly everything that we do, we believe it have to be assisted by grant or by donation. And to that purpose, we need to have some suggestions put down if we are going to apply for grants. That's what we're working towards. We're not committing the town to anything.
Councillor Bolt.
Thank you, Chair. Just in response to what Councillor McRae stated, let's not lose sight of the fact that that property was a farm. So it may not be as bad as we think it is when we go forward, but you're absolutely right, Councillor McRae. The fact that it is close to the dump, and if it was found there was any significant leachate just directly underneath the surface that could be considered dangerous to one's health, or if we couldn't, we can't deal with because of excessive rock or so, I can see where that would be a problem. But going forward, if and when we do have funds available, that doesn't mean we couldn't do some studies and get some people in there to determine if there's some areas of that actual acreage that can be developed versus others that can't. So I just, let's not lose sight of that fact and being positive in that respect at the time.
Very good point.
Sorry, I know this through the chair, this isn't the discussion on the Drew farm, but just, so people don't get hopes up or anything, the town had to purchase that site as a landfill attenuation zone, so. Yeah, it's not bad underneath, but the MOE does have restrictions on what we can do there, so. Regardless of whatever, if and anything is ever found, no, we can't build anything
Correct.
substantial on the site.
Any other questions? Okay, Councillor Bolt, the strike again.
Yeah, so I guess at this point, I can't make a motion, can I? Oh, I can, go ahead. All right. So, we met, and, as everybody knows, we only had one, person apply for the Drew Farm Working Group. And, we only had one person apply for the Perth Advisory Panel. And I haven't read those names. Have you got those names, Andy?
So if you just go to 13.7.
Yes. So as recommended, okay, moved by myself, and seconded by Councilor McRae.
Yeah.
As recommended by the striking committee, be it resolved, the council of the town of Perth appoint the following persons for the Drew Farm Working Group. And that is,
Marvin.
the name, I'm sorry.
Sorry, yeah.
So it's Marlene Donahue's.
Yes, so it's Marlene Donahue.
Okay, and I sorry, I forget the second person's name. Cameron, not this for.
Cameron McNutt for the Heritage First Advisory Panel.
Okay, discussion on the motion. All in favor of the motion? Carried unanimously.
Sorry.
Okay, and Councilor McCray.
Yes, I'll try to be as brief as I can. So the Lander County Climate Action Working Group, I was not able to be present. I just started a full-time job.
Oh.
And so I was involved in taking my REMIS instructor's course, so I didn't get there in time. But that does not absolve me of my responsibilities to report on it. So I'll just go over it very quickly. If you had an opportunity to review that, they had 3 reports. The greenhouse gas emissions inventory update was part of it, where they talked about community targets of 10%, 10% below or below for 2019 levels to 2030, and then their goal being 80% below between 2019 levels by 2050. So their key findings is that there was a 16% decrease between 2019 and 2023. And this is at a corporate level, so Lander County level in emissions. And a lot of that had to do with natural gas as a primary contributor to the emissions for buildings, vehicles contributing the most. And then at the community level, unfortunately, the decrease was only 2% from 2019 to 2023. Has gasoline as primary, still a contributor on road transportation and the residential sector. And then the second report has to do with Better Homes Lander County update given by Elizabeth Gallant. And as you know, the county applied for a substantial grant from the Green Municipal Fund. And I am not at liberty to speak to this at this time until that announcement has been made. But it was a significant amount they applied for. Number 3, the upcoming programs and plans, they have 5 in place. So there's the Better Homes Lander County, that's a grant they applied for. Building Net Zero, Natural Heritage System, Climate Adaptation Plan, the Green Infrastructure and Asset Management Plan. And so that's basically, they're very lengthy reports, and you can go online and you can read them. I think one of them is 23 pages or something like that. So I just tried to condense it. Thank you.
Any questions for Councilor McCray? Okay, you still have the floor.
Okay, so now we're going on to the BIA. Last evening was the annual general meeting at the BIA, and it's important to note that we have lost our chair, John McKenty. After 14 years, he's decided to retire as the chair of the business improvement area. We've also lost Rob Rose, who has resigned because he's changed jobs as well, and he's extremely busy. And I think he's decided to put his efforts into the Stewart Park Festival. Hooray. Second thing is there was a number of different reports given last evening. As you are all aware, they seem to be putting a lot of energy into operations and trying to improve operations of the business improvement area and the board of directors. So you all know that not long ago, we passed our procedural bylaw, and Sheldon Gift spent a lot of time on that. They are also, their executive director, Nancy Wing, is now going to be working on very shortly on their strategic plan. And she gave an exceptional presentation last evening on all the steps that are involved in that and how they're going to move forward. So that's something the BIA, we can look forward to hearing from the BIA in 2025. The only other thing is I have to say that John, who is the owner of Michael's Table, has done a bang-up job in working along with our financial director in putting together all the bits and pieces that are necessary for accountability in terms of our budget. And these are things that kind of have been piecemeal in the past, but I'm telling you, they've really done an incredible job, and they gave a presentation last evening. And what I liked about it is, if you talk to our executive director, Dolores McAdam, about the way the budget is at this point in time, you can follow it line by line. And so now there's no questions about expenditures and that type of thing. So thanks for the help that Brian has given the Stewart Park Festival in regards to that. And just in closing, the promotion committee, of which I sit on as well. When you sit on the BIA, you have to also sit on another committee. And promotions has to do with all of the events that take place in the town. And so we're gearing up for Once Upon a Christmas. So that's pretty well, in a nutshell, what's happening with the BIA.
Go ahead, Councillor Wonderful.
Through the deputy mayor, Councillor McCray. Councillor McCray, has there been a new chair elected of the BIA?
No, last night was the last evening that we will have John McKenty, and our next meeting is tomorrow morning.
Okay,
So we'll see what happens there.
thank you.
Okay, Chamber of Commerce.
Okay, so the first Chamber of Commerce, I just want to remind everybody that tomorrow evening is a very, very important event. It's the awards gala. And I am honored to have been asked to present the medal for Perth on behalf of our mayor. So I'm looking very much forward to that. They had a very successful golf tournament. They made a lot more than they ever anticipated, I believe. And they are still reaching out to build a larger membership base with other municipalities. As you know, the first Chamber of Commerce isn't just Perth, it's Perth and district. So they are reaching out to the other municipalities, and they're finding that they're really quite interested in becoming involved in the membership. They are also offering a lot more workshops, so supporting businesses in our communities and advocating for businesses. Other than that, I don't have much more to report on the Perth Chambers of Commerce. As I said, the gala event is tomorrow evening, and then we have our regular meeting the following Wednesday.
Any questions for Councillor McCray? Do give them my regrets. I'm already booked into an awards ceremony tomorrow starting at 3:30 at the county, so.
I will, and I'll do that.
Perfect, thank you very
I'll
much.
tell them that we wanted to be there.
Councillor Waterfield.
With regards to the library, we met as a board yesterday. We welcomed a new member, Councillor Corin Jordan from Tay Valley. A couple of other points of interest. There is currently a new province-wide library system software being launched all across the province, which includes our library. And there will be an orientation for all members of the library that wish to use that. Also, there's a local project with not only our library, but local libraries in terms of setting up eco-literary centers. And this will be set up in each of the area libraries, and they're going to be partnering with related organizations for information and resources, such as the conservation areas, Friends of the Tay, and in our case, CNL, Planet Network Lab. So that's the report from the library. With regards to the Riga Valley Conservation Authority, on September the 26th, I attended an executive meeting in the afternoon. In the evening, we had a board meeting, a couple of points of interest, annual appointment of staff to issue permits in conservation lands. Also, we gave direction to staff for the 2025 budget direction. And we're actually meeting this week, this Thursday, we have another meeting coming up, so a busy time. With regards to the land.
Sorry, Councillor Waterfield. Councillor Bolt, go ahead, question.
Thank you, Acting Mayor. So Councillor Waterfield, just a question with respect to RBCA. I was on the RBCA for a very short time in one of my other terms, and we had a lot of clout back then. Given the directives from the province and the premier with respect to wetlands and so on, a lot of people are always asking me, have the directives and the objectives of the RBCA been somewhat rescinded? How are you finding that as a representative with respect to what you can or cannot do now with the current, bylaws or rules the province are putting forward?
Through you, Deputy Mayor, excellent question. Not the time to get into the nitty-gritty details. I will make a statement that with the current provincial government, it has been challenging for all conservation authorities with recent legislation during the past couple of years. So we as conservation authorities are constantly weaving through challenges and evolving legislation. I'll just leave it at that.
Fair enough, thank you.
With regards to the Lanark County Traffic Advisory Working Group, we met on September 27th. The main point of discussion was a final recommendation to the Public Works Committee of the county, which is actually meeting tomorrow, on establishing a community safety zone in County Road 23 at Rosedale Road South at Montague Central Hall. So that took up quite a bit of time, and that's our major recommendation to the Public Works Committee for tomorrow. Those are my reports, Deputy Mayor.
Any questions for Councilor Waterfield on his reports? Councilor Byrd.
If I may, through the chair, Councillor Waterfield, there was a meeting of the RCBA and information for multiple municipalities.
Right.
And if I may, can I just make one of the points that I picked up on? Sure, by all means. One of the things the province did do was identify a definition for the first time of what that wetlands were. With the unexpected or unintended result that if you actually take the definition, there are now more identified wetlands in Ontario, particularly in the southwest, than there were before they made that definition. I'm sure they'll review that at some point, but on the map that they showed us, there were dark green areas which had always been declared wetlands, and then lighter green areas that were the new ones, and say predominantly down the southwest, but certainly here. But our own wetlands in the town here have been and are still recognized as provincial wetlands.
And Councilor Waterfield, if you move the motion to accept the reports.
Be resolved that the Council of the Town of Perth receive the Council Committee, local boards, and external board reports minutes as presented.
And that's seconded by Councilor Smith. Any discussion? All in favor? Carried unanimously. No new business. Questions from the media?
I do have one, if you could expand on why council was considering appointing an alternate to county council, and then why they rescinded that idea.
I wasn't sure if I was going to be at the county council meeting, so I want to make sure we had someone there, and currently we don't have an alternate. If myself and Councilor Brown away, but I'm going to be present. And then the proper procedure, I understand, is that we really should choose an alternate through our striking committee. We've never done that, so that's the proper procedure we should have followed.
Thank you.
Okay, perfect. Next meeting date is Tuesday, November 26th at 5:30 p.m. The Mayor Brown will be chairing, and we have a motion to go into a closed session. Councilor Byrd.
Thank you, through the chair. Moved by myself and seconded by Councillor McRae, that the Council of the Town of Perth resolve itself into closed session at 5:58 p.m. pursuant to the Municipal Act 2001, SO 2001, Clause 25, as amended, subsection 239, for the following purpose. 1. Litigation of potential litigation, including matters before administrative tribunals affecting the municipality or local board. Subsection 239 2E, legal update, Ontario Land Tribunal case number OLT 240000210, Perthmore Enterprises Incorporated.
All in favor? Carried unanimously. Okay, sorry, Councilor Smith, you have a motion for Councilor Horizon report.
I do. Be it resolved that the council of the town of Perth, one, approve the proposed settlement between Perth
Oh,
Morris.
sorry, Barry, it's on the big screen there, sorry if you don't mind, number 18. We'll do that one first.
Okay. Be it resolved that the council of the town of Perth rise and report from closed session at 6:48 PM.
Okay, all in favor? And just some information for the public, in closed session, council received a legal update from our CEO regarding the Ontario Land Tribunal appeal at Northmore for proposed zoning bylaw amendment. Now, we move the floor again, Councilor Smith.
Be it resolved that the council of the town of Perth, one, approve the proposed settlement between Perthmore and the corporation of the town of Perth as a resolution to the Ontario Land Tribunal appeal case number OLT 240000210, and two, provide delegated authority to the chief administrative officer and the town of Perth legal counsel to finalize and sign minutes of settlement upon the approval by the chief administrative officer.
Discussion on the motion. Sir, you have a second by Councilor Waterfield. Discussion on the motion, all in favor of the motion, carried unanimously, and Councilor McCray.
Be it resolved that the council of the town of Perth passed bylaw number 5181, being a bylaw to confirm the proceedings of the council of the town of Perth at its meeting held October the 22nd, 2024.
That's second by Councilor Bird. Any discussion? All in favor? Carried unanimously. Motion to adjourn.
So
We're adjourned. Thanks.